the time, my friends, what has been like a favorite? Have you been able to venture to the outside? What's been your favorite find?
Ryan's better about doing that than I am.
Okay.
So Ryan, take it away.
Take it away.
So I found an amazing jazz club called the
That's so
Ginger
you.
Rabbit. Yeah.
Say it again, what's it called?
It's called the Ginger Rabbit.
Ginger Rabbit.
It's like
okay.
maybe a 15-minute walk from here. Really excellent jazz, like beautiful kind of speakeasy vibe, really like vibey. And I have like my rules when I come to different cities. I try and find good coffee and some kind of place with atmosphere and some delicious local food. And that's usually like my trifecta.
And you're really good at it. You're good at finding the places.
Yeah.
Always. He hasn't let me down so far.
Denji's got to eat, man.
Anybody here been to Ginger Rabbit before? Anybody going to go to Ginger Rabbit after this, now that we know it's a sick jazz club, a 15-minute walk from the convention center? Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm saying.
The crossover of anime and jazz is only so
I'm saying, listen. I could talk all day about why you should sing and also do anime.
I will say, last night I went with my buddy TK, and we were sitting there, and one of the songs, while it was like in the middle of going, I'm like, this is absolutely like an anime intro. It felt like something that like was opening up like a My Hero episode or something. It was really epic, yeah.
That's so sick. So what's been, like, in traveling, what's been your favorite outside of the con thing that you've been able to do? So many options. She's the worldly woman.
So many options. I mean, probably the coolest experiences have been when we've gotten to go abroad. So I've been to London for MCM London Comic-Con, and that was amazing. And I don't know if there's any like one specific sightseeing thing, you know, that I did, but I love like just walking around a city and kind of getting the vibe for it. I mean, recently I was in Boise, Idaho, which most people wouldn't necessarily find like super exciting, but it was beautiful, and it felt so nice, like just walking around downtown, and like the weather was perfect, and you see the mountains in the background. Yeah, I think that's really my favorite thing to do, is just to kind of walk around if I end up making the time for it, because I'm not always good at that. But
Fun fact, in London, it's Pochita.
Oh, is it really?
Well, they all, yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I believe you if you told me that.
Denji, and you're like, yeah.
Oh my God,
Denji.
they just totally skipped the I.
Pochita.
That's so cute. Oh, I love that. Is there so many people coming up to your tables like saying it like that?
It's really fun. It's trippy in London and Australia and New Zealand I was in recently, and I would not have imagined how many people like are obsessed with the show there too. It's very cool. Yeah, it's fun. Actually, something in London that the first time I went to England for a con, I was really thrown because, you know, like here we'll be like, oh, hey, how are you? How was your day? Like, how's it going? In the UK, when they come up to you and they say hi, they go, you all right?
Right.
So
yeah, I'm fine.
the first like 6 people to do it, I was like, do I look unwell? I promise
Everyone's
I'm okay.
worried
I know
about
it was
me.
a long flight, but I think I don't look that sickly.
You're right.
Man's ill. You gotta help him.
You all right? I'm like, yeah, thanks.
You're right.
Yeah, you okay? Yeah.
That's so cute. I didn't know that. I've
Yeah.
never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. That's so cute. Okay, more general question, and then we'll lock in with my folks over there. But I know we gotta. Since it's summer and it's so hot outside, I would love to know.
So
it's
hot outside.
So hot. What has been the best summer vacation you've ever had in your life?
Oh my God.
Yeah, ever.
Oh, okay. Dublin, Ireland.
That's a good answer.
Because it wasn't hot there.
There you go.
That's where I went for my honeymoon.
Special.
And it was really amazing. Highly recommend. It was really cool. We went to Dublin, but then we also went out into the countryside too, and stayed at like a medieval castle converted into a hotel situation, and it was great. But I specifically, because we got married in the summer, my husband loves, you know, beachy stuff and tropical stuff, and I'm like cool with that. But I also don't love sweating. It's
Controversial, I know.
It's not my favorite. And so, because it was like in the dead of summer, we got married in August. Nice. I was like, can we go somewhere for a honeymoon that's not hot? And he's a great guy, and he was like, yeah, honey, whatever you want. That's why I married him.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Sweet. There you go. You won.
He pretty much lets me.
That's how you know they're the one.
Lets me drive the ship.
If
It's
that's
great.
what you need, yeah, girl, get into it.
Listen, we're coming up. This coming August will be our 10-year wedding
Stop,
anniversary.
that's so special. That's a big
So
number. Let's go.
my best recommendation, you guys. Oh, thank you. As far as finding a life partner, you can't go wrong with number one, somebody who's kind, and number two, somebody who's easygoing. Can't say that I'm easygoing.
Maybe
So,
that's
like,
what you
that
have to
sucks for
find. If
him.
you're not, find the
Sucks for
easygoing,
him.
and if you're
However,
easygoing,
He's so easygoing.
He's
yeah.
so easygoing. It's great. Anyway.
good. So
I
finding
digress.
balance, I think kindness and balance is what I'm deeming from that.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm fun though. Like I'm really fun.
Nervous.
I make him laugh.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys thought you were coming to a Chainsaw Man panel. It's actually relationship advice. So lock in, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Love
Summer
thyself.
vacation. I got you. Yes, that's what's most important
Yes.
always. If you need love thyself, go to Ryan's Twitter. You will love yourself after
That's all I
reading
got.
anything. Yeah.
Man, best summer vacation ever. Honestly, I mean, I don't think like as an adult I've really had like a proper getaway, but I do think that there was one summer I remember like it was fresh after high school, and I had this like last summer with so many of my really close friends, and we all knew we were going to be in different places and life was going to get way more expansive, and we got together almost every night, and we had one friend who had this like really amazing house, and he had this beautiful record player, and we would all bring vinyl records over and just hang out for hours and listen to records and just talk about life and aspirations and all these things. And I find myself often thinking back to those times because it's such a time capsule that like will never ever be accessible again.
Right.
And it was like so developmental, I feel like, for just like my soul at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was lovely.
It speaks to who you are now, I think. It's like that is the most you answer that you could have given, seriously. Okay, last thing for me, and then we'll turn it over to my friends over here. I would love to know about your experience specifically with Chainsaw Man and getting to know your cast because of how big the show is and getting to do press for it. And just for folks that don't know, because you guys don't record together, so can you talk a little bit about like forming relationships with your castmates and how special that is?
So you don't get to choose your cast members, obviously. We're lucky we get chosen to do the work, period, that we do. And then, you end up with a cast of people, and you hope that you'll get along or that there'll be some kind of vibe. But it is rare to get to do something, one, at this scale, period, but to do it with people that you deeply admire, not just as like creative, artistic, talent, but genuinely lovely, weird people. Like, we have such a genuine family. I mean, we've all fallen so deeply in love with each other. We've known each other now for, 3 years after all this, the traveling and everything, and I feel like I've known them my whole life. We make sure that when we're in cities together, we spend, as much time getting dinners or coffee or whatever it is. It's a real, like, weird honor and privilege, because I also like getting older and having careers and all this stuff, you kind of almost think like, oh well, I'm gonna have less time for friends and for social life and all this stuff, and this has been the greatest gift. It's been so fulfilling. We laugh all the time. We are constantly just making like inside jokes and looking out for each other, and it makes a huge difference too with a show like this where you have to go to really dark places, or cover subject matter that can be really sensitive and uncomfortable. And to know that even if you're not in the same physical space, that your scene partner is looking out for you and cares for you and is putting in, that intention and that space for you also. Like you want each other to shine, so it's like nobody's trying to win the scene. Everyone's trying to make it the best where everybody can just come out on top, and it's amazing. I mean, I'm sure you guys have had the chance to meet Sarah and Reagan and Susie at some point, and they're extraordinary humans, like, and crazy talented. And the extended cast, like all the people that come to play with us too, are amazing. We've been so lucky. That was a rant. I'm sorry.
No, please.
No, you
Everybody
said it,
is here to listen to you talk. So
it's absolutely, yeah. No, you said it beautifully. I couldn't have said it better myself. It is such a special aspect of it that, coming into it back when, I auditioned for the show, I wasn't even thinking about who else. I mean, I guess at the time I already knew, because
I'm Chainsaw Man.
by the time they held auditions for Pochita, the rest of the main cast was already cast and announced and everything, so I did actually already know who was in it. But just in general, when you audition for things, like, I mean, for me personally, I don't really think about, like, oh, who else is going to be in it too? You're just hoping to get the part so that you can keep being a working actor. But it's such an amazing perk that comes along with it a lot of times. And I think probably more than any other show that I've been in so far, there's something about the Chainsaw Man cast in particular that feels extra like a family. I don't know. It's ended up being really, really special.
We really like nobody in our crew, like we live with like no judgment, and it doesn't mean we don't rip each other apart for fun, for jokes, but like there is so much love there, and everybody is so individual and so weird, and like all of our personalities, you like almost wouldn't expect us to all be friends.
We're all very
right?
different.
Very different.
Very different, but it just works.
You get us together, and it's like just a pack of gremlins.
Yeah, I feel like when you are genuine and you know yourself, you can get along with other people if they are also genuine and know themselves. Like,
Yes.
it's a matter of
That's
just...
what it is.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Well, thank you. Call me a hammer, heyo. All right, my friends, let's turn it over to you. What is your name, my love?
Hi, my name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. My question is, what's the most emotional scene you've recorded in Chainsaw Man so far?
I think for me it's still probably the in the first episode when Denji is having his kind of meditation on, like, it's right after he's forged, with Pochita, and he comes out of the dumpster and he realizes what's happened, or is putting together what's happened, and he has that kind of thought about, I guess everybody has dreams of different scales, and it's not a bad thing, but that whole moment and the speech he has with Pochita on the log, all of that was like really deeply, deeply resonant to me. I think that, like, Denji's a really deep, layered, sweet guy, and there's a lot that, he still has to unpack. And there's a lot that we haven't even got to explore yet, really. I think the other scene that I can think of offhand, because so much of season 1 was really just like so visceral, and it wasn't as much really getting into so much of that just yet, but the scene after Himeno gives him a kiss, and he is in the bathroom, and he is just like not only puking out literal puke, but his heart and his soul of just like, every time I think someone's going to, show me affection, it's just like I get taken down another notch, and it's just like that emptiness he has and that desire to just be seen, is so profound.
Pochita doesn't have like a lot to choose from.
Show me your dreams. Show me your dreams.
So yeah, that would be the scene, the most emotional for him.
We can expand it if there's another show that you've been in that you really feel like this was very
I would say
emotionally
the
got
most
through.
emotionally raw character I've ever played is definitely also people's like least favorite character of all time, which is my character from Attack on Titan, Gabi. Don't kill me.
People don't think about how difficult it is to do roles like that.
To be an awful,
Yeah, I mean, some people do, to give some people credit. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people also have trouble
Separating you.
like, or don't understand what an actor is. And that like we're playing a role and we're not literally the characters we play, like, but anyway, I digress. But no, aside from obviously the unpleasant death threats I got over that character, from an actor's perspective, it was actually one of my favorite roles that I've played, because she had so many layers to her, and she went through so much character development, and by far, out of any character I've ever played, she had the most emotionally raw scenes, and it was very, very like rewarding as an actor to actually, get to do scenes like that. So yeah,
for sure. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You know what I just thought of that I didn't like until just now, kind of was like, funk, there's like definitely an irony to like all the people who like watch the show and send you death threats over that, and like and the idea of like if given the opportunity to play a character in a show, they would probably all be like, yes, the amount of people that would
think, right? I've had that thought too, but then I've also had people come up to me and they're like, would you have agreed to play this role if you knew? And I'm like, of course I would.
Yeah.
Like, would you not
Yeah.
like accept a role in Attack on Titan? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
and it's an incredibly satisfying thing to be challenged like that, and as an actor, like that's so rewarding. And I think a lot of people conflate, like there's like positive and negative of all this stuff versus like you're servicing the story, and you need to be able to
That's the thing.
the story's not going to have the effect unless you give it what it needs, and like it's a good testament that it hit that hard.
I mean, I do appreciate it when people say like, well, the fact that people hate you so much just is, a testament
doesn't
to
validate
what a good
hatred,
job you
yeah.
did. And I'm like, that's sweet. But the reason why people hate her has nothing to do with my performance and everything to do with, no spoilers, what she does, an action that she does, which I had no say in.
She
that was
stole
all
a
the
peanut butter jelly sandwich.
No!
And that
In
was
the Times of
Levi's.
that
Titans.
be. No, yeah, it was all the writer, right? I had no say in any of that. But yeah, it's really interesting. The how different people think about it. And again, to give people credit, I would say I think most people that have come up and talked to me about it, even if they hate what the character did, and even hate the character, it doesn't bother me when people hate the character. I mean, that was intentional. Like the writer obviously intended for people to hate her. That was kind of the whole point. Is like, he's like, what can I have her do that will make people hate her so much? But then peeper, and then kind of make them realize later on.
Sorry. We're good. We're so mature and
Peeper just
professional.
sent
and
me.
so grown up, and we
That's all
are
I got.
adults. Make them think later on too, like, well, wait a second, I hate her, but also she's kind of exactly the same as Aaron, so wait. And so it's supposed to cause people to have cognitive dissonance about that, and that was like kind of the whole point of the character. And to give, again, a lot of the viewers credit, a lot of people did pick up on that. But there are some people out there that did not pick up on that.
Well, it's like that poor kid who played Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He stopped acting
man.
because everybody
Right?
just was
Isn't
like,
that crazy?
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
devastating.
yeah, pretty rough.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
Anyway, we digress. Per
Thank you so
usual.
much. Hi there.
Hi there,
What's your name, my friend?
Roberto.
Hi, Roberto.
What's up, Roberto?
So, are you all right?
Oh, that was lovely. Yes,
Doing great, thanks.
Okay, okay. My real question is, what other foods you two? Oh, not you two. Denji and Pochita would like to try besides jelly toast.
Oh man, I mean, I don't think there's a food Denji won't want to try. I mean, I feel like he would probably lose his mind over like a triple cheeseburger.
Oh,
That would be like so decadent.
that
you
Big
know.
Mac, baby. Hell yeah.
I would love to see him though. Like, honestly, it would be really funny to see Denji in power at like high tea. With like the little tower and little baby tea sandwiches, and
That's
like
awesome.
just
I love
seeing,
that
like,
visual.
That's awesome.
completely. Yeah, it would. It
Full
would like.
chainsaw
Someone
Yeah.
needs to make a fan art of that.
Yeah,
That
someone
would be
out there.
great.
How
Love
about
that.
a jelly croissant?
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh,
we know
that
the
sounds
hell out of
delicious.
that. Absolutely.
So he could still get his jelly, but he is in fact at high tea.
Every
And
time we do
fast
these
profile.
panels and someone brings up the food stuff, I get so hungry.
I know it's just around dinner time too. So I'm
Right?
like, man, Big Mac sounds good right
And
now.
like, yeah, what doesn't sound good?
Your accent was lovely. That was stellar. Thank
Well
you.
done,
Thank
Roberto.
you.
Well
Did.
done. Thank you so much. What's
Wait
up,
a
Denji?
second. How can I be here and there at the same time?
Why do you look so familiar? Why,
guys-
where have I seen you before?
You guys gotta take the Spider-Man picture, like pointing at each other.
I really want him to sound like Bane though when he talks. so
Ooh,
it's
let's
like,
go. Hi, my friend.
I'm going to use my chainsaw.
Exactly.
Hi.
It's so clear. It's so clear. That was amazing. What's your name, my friend?
Steven,
Hi, Steven.
quick preface question. Have either of you read the manga?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question for you, Ryan.
And wait,
then.
before we go into it,
Ooh,
for
not
the sake of you
not really like any like big spoilers.
awesome,
or anything.
perfect.
You
You
know
read
what's
my
up.
mind.
I
You
Only
can
a
got
little
it, yeah.
tiny baby spoiler.
What's your what do you think your preferred love interest is of Denji's? Rezi or Asa?
Oh man, that's so complicated. Some people may not have any clue with what the other answer, but I think both are really both have a lot of really deeply compelling reasons to why there's a lot there in their connection. There's so much I can't say. How do I skirt around this? I mean, I personally think that, especially now that we're in it currently, like all of the stuff with Asa is so fascinating, and there is very intentionally like a parallel thing happening there. I think my concern is that Fujimoto just loves to break hearts, and I feel like Denji's path, especially with discovering acceptance and affection and love and connection, I don't know what the end goal is, with the story. I think like so much of it is a meditation on loneliness and acceptance and self-worth and connecting with other people and finding what that balance is. And I think it's a really complicated conversation, and I think in life, different people that we interact with give like different chunks of our soul. Like there have been people who have been in more than one relationship, and like just because one didn't work out doesn't mean that that person isn't still like a major part of who you were and who you are and develops where you go. So I think even regardless of where Denji's at in his journey, I think everyone that he's had interactions with, especially on that deep level, like they all resonate with him. And we know that there's been callbacks to things, and even in further chapters. I'm trying to be so vague about this. Oh my god.
You're doing great.
You're doing
But I
amazing.
think
yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
You're doing great.
Ultimately, I really am fascinated by his chemistry with Asa. I'm just terrified. But I think it's yeah.
Yeah.
But I am also kind of like just on the ride and very much like letting it happen, because I learned a long time ago that I cannot predict anything that's going on in this story, and I love it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You look freaking awesome.
I
dude.
know, that's so sick.
You do. You look great.
Everybody give a round of
And
applause.
you
Round of
can-
applause for
and
this
you can see
cosplay.
why-
This is
yeah,
so cool.
come
Yes.
on.
Real quick, is there anybody else cosplaying Chainsaw Man in here? Do you want to stand up? I don't know if there's. I don't know.
We got the katana,
Beautiful.
we got
Okay,
Denji.
amazing.
Yay.
You guys look so good.
It's like Spartacus. I'm Spartacus.
You guys all have to take the Spider-Man photos together.
Yes.
All right, my friend. Hi there. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Ricky, and my question I have for both of you guys is, throughout your careers, what would you say is the role or roles that most, let's say, helped you grow in your acting abilities and as voice actors?
Good question. Good question.
Really good. Yeah, you go first. If you already know, then yeah.
It's like when you get the food menu, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go.
The French fries. I don't know.
I think for me, I mean, there's different kind of touchstones, right? As an actor, like there's never just one, because you're always developing and growing and hopefully getting better and learning. And I think I can see like stages. There are certain characters where I felt growth and understanding. I mean, my very first anime role is a character named Jazz in a show called Welcome to Demon School. Hey, it's kind of a deep cut, but somebody knows it. And that was the first time that I got brought in to play a character that was kind of in my personality and energy space, and it was a lesson in being comfortable and not having to like play a character and just trust the like process, and just let my natural energy like fill in that space. And I learned a lot from that. I think Rody in My Hero Academia was a major breaking point for me, because there was so much to his story that I could like really dig into, because up until that point, a lot of my characters were, side characters, or, they didn't have like whole like really meaty arcs to get to like, sit in. And he was the first one that really had this story that you got to experience a full arc. And he was so like well fleshed out and had layers of elements of my own life and things that I could pull from, and it was really exciting to be a part of something, because at that time My Hero to me was like the high bar of what dubbing was doing and everything. It was so compelling and eclectic, and the performances were so genuine and unique, and it felt like a deep responsibility to be like a part of it and not mess it up. And then obviously Denji has like been a whole other. I mean, there is yet to be a thing that I have done, outside of Denji that is as challenging, emotionally rewarding, cathartic, just in every way it is a constant gift, and I'm learning all the time from him and from you guys and from this process. So that's kind of like off the top of my head. Thank you.
That was amazing off the top of your head. Yeah. I'm like, you just open your mouth and
I'll have the
just-
shrimp.
You're like, you'll see what happens. I'm impressed with what happened.
What would he say if he had time to think about it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Whoa.
right?
That'd be the whole
Yeah.
panel. It'd be amazing.
We'll get back
This would
to
be
you
way
tomorrow.
shorter.
Man, it's hard to like hone in on one specific character that I feel like I really grew the most with, but kind of what I think about more as with my voiceover roles is there are certain characters that helped me hone like types of voices more so. So like the first thing that came to mind for me was Nagisa in Assassination Classroom. Which it's wild that I was even cast in that role in the first place. They did not hold auditions for it. And at that point, I had voiced a few young boy characters at that point, but they were like very much side characters or, you know, nothing very big. And the director who cast me, Joel McDonald, love him, he's the best. He, although I'd worked with him before, I don't think he'd ever directed me in something where I was voicing a boy. So I don't know, like, why he thought I could do that.
but it's that thing, like, one, directors have good intuition, I think, a lot of the time. But also,
Yeah.
like, they don't just see you as the thing you're playing.
It's
they get a sense of your
true.
personality and your energy, and they're like, you can do that. Like, they, like, know what you can kind of, you know.
Well, let's just say he had a lot more confidence in me than I had in myself for that role. And it was really funny because I got the email that, you know, had been cast in this show, but they didn't tell me who I was playing. And so I knew I was coming in to record for it, and I didn't know what the role was. And back then I was like too shy to ask.
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever, I'll take it. And so ahead of time, I Googled the series to try to guess like what role I'd been cast in. And so I was reading through all of the like, you know, all the roles, all of the classroom kids, and upon reading that, like, okay, the protagonist is this like boy Nagisa that like would be voiced by a girl because it's voiced by a woman in the Japanese, and the reason why is because he gets mistaken for a girl all the time. There's a whole backstory to that, which those of you who've seen the show know about. But anyway, I digress. I'm very good at digressing. So I remember seeing that and being like, well, I hope it's not that character. And the reason why is because I was definitely not confident in my like young boy voice. I'd done it a few times, but like it wasn't something that I felt like came very easily to me. And the fact that this was like the protagonist of the story, I was like, I feel like I need a little more practice working on side characters with like a young boy voice before I like dive right into like a protagonist character. And so, but of course I get there and Joel tells me that is who I'm playing, and like externally I'm like, oh my gosh, oh that's awesome, yay, and internally I'm like, oh no. I was like,
Yeah, with the fire and the dog. Yeah.
I was like really stressed about it, and then he, you know, he was trying to like, you know, he was excited about it and whatever, and instead internally my reaction to his excitement and him talking about like, oh, there's all this hype about this in Japan, like, you know, the manga's super popular. I'm like, oh no. So a lot of people are going to see this. And probably a lot of people have like a preconceived notion of like how the character should sound, and I'm going to disappoint all of them. And
Like, don't worry, that'll be years later.
so, yeah, right. Really though. But no, anyway, I am so grateful to this character though, because number one, it's a great character regardless, but I really, that was that character that made me really comfortable doing young boy voices. So ever since that character, anytime I've been cast in anything that requires a young boy voice, it's like, it's no problem. I'm like, I pull it out very easily. And if it wasn't for that role, you know, that's what gave me the practice in it. So
Nice. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hey, good to see you again.
Hello. Do you want the more fun question or more serious question?
Let's do more fun.
What do you
It's
want?
Saturday
What are you
afternoon,
feeling?
Yeah.
I could do both, but you answered a lot of more serious questions, so I was like, I should do a fun one. But if your characters could meet any of the other characters you voiced, who do you think would be the most interesting interaction?
Who's besties in your roster?
I would actually
That is fun.
love to see Denji interact with John Watson because that would be absolute chaos.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What would they discover together? That's so fun.
Oh, John would discover that he's got an animal in his apartment. Yeah, that's what he would discover. I think it would just be really funny to see somebody so proper with someone totally unhinged.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Lindsay?
Well, this thought was inspired by some fan art that I've seen of these two characters. Nejire Hado from My Hero Academia. I've seen fan art of her like cuddling Pochita, and it's the cutest thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, they would be buddies.
That's very
It'd be
sweet.
cute.
That's very cute.
To be fair, I feel like Pochita's friends with everyone, right?
That's also true.
That's
like,
true.
He's a
who
friend to us
wouldn't
all.
he get
Yeah.
along with, right?
Get anybody talking about their dreams. Let's go. Thank you so much. That
Thank
was a
you.
fun question. I like that a lot.
Appreciate it.
Hello. What's your name, my friend?
My name's Emily.
Hi, Emily. What's your question?
My question is, I know you said you had pretty good chemistry with the rest of the cast. I wonder if there's any parts of your characters that come from yourselves that might make the chemistry between the characters work.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
I think it's more apparent when we're all together, but especially if you see me, Sarah, and Reagan together, you very much understand why we were cast as Denji, Aki, and Power. Reagan is the most extraordinary, like, talented, humble, like, very reserved. He really can, like, when we're, like, comfortable and out, he's, like, super, super fun, but, like, he can be really quiet, and, like, he reads Latin. He sings opera. Like, it's, like, very on par. Sarah and I, we met.
Just a couple of idiots.
Yeah. Exactly. We met like a year before we got cast in the show together at a different con, and we immediately had that dynamic, which I call idiot sibling energy. And I mean, she deals with it all the time. She's
I
constantly.
love it. It's my favorite, though.
Yeah,
I do. I love it.
It's like there's just something like the second she shows up, and we just like we'll see each other and just like greet each other like gremlins. It's like
The Gremlin Squad,
yeah,
of course.
just
yes.
total unhinged chaos. It is. I mean, if we're next to each other at a table, she's throwing shit at me all weekend. Like it's nonstop,
Was
and
there-
it's the
she
best.
like hid under your table once, yeah?
She's hid under my table. I mean, we deface each other's prints. It's wonderful. I could not be happier with our chemistry. It's the best.
Wonderful.
And it's the best to watch, too. It's the best. Yeah.
Good question, my friend. Thank you so much. Hello. What's your name, my friend?
Kate,
Hi, Kate. What's your question?
excluding the Chainsaw Devil, what devil would you have a contract with?
The coffee devil.
There it is. There it is. What do you think?
The nap devil.
Yeah.
Would it be that you like always wake up refreshed? Because whenever I take a nap, I don't know about you guys.
It's worse. It's so much
No,
worse.
It's
Yes,
so
no,
much worse. I
yes.
take a nap and I wake up. I'm like,
No.
what year is it?
I never wake up feeling better.
No.
But it doesn't matter.
But I feel good going down. That's what naps
It's
are
my
actually for.
weakness.
Is for the falling asleep part in the beginning, not for the aftermath.
Yeah, fair. Thank you.
Good question, my friend. Thank you so much. We've got just about under 10 minutes. I think we should be able to get through all of you, my friends. I think that should be
speed
perfect.
answer.
We'll be
better.
say,
We'll
I'll
be
be
better.
less
Denji and
verbose.
Pochita
Yeah.
will be our last, I think. Go ahead, my friend.
I'll digress less.
That's okay. No. What's your name, my friend?
I'm Justin.
Hi, Justin.
What's up, brother?
Dressed up as the Katana Devil. My question for both of you, and I have a caveat for Ryan on this. What is your favorite line you recorded or from any character in the show from the entire cast right now? Ryan, you are not allowed to steal any of Pochita's lines.
You know what? I'm gonna use one of Powers that I think is really underappreciated. When she's like shoving her face with ramen and she's talking to Himeno and she goes, "Speak, harlot! Either you and Denji copulated yester eve or you're lying." And I
awesome.
remember that and I was like, Jessica, our adapter, I was like, God damn, that's fucking funny, man.
Jessica Slice.
Yeah,
Oh my
Jessica
God.
Slice. So all of the great one-liners in this show, you put the dick in predictable, like all that stuff. That is Jessica.
She's so good
She's
at
the
it.
best, the
She's
absolute
so
best.
funny.
It is a gift every time to go and record and see her dialogue.
She's so good at what she does.
Yeah.
She really is. Kidding. Oh yeah, nuts or nothing. That's a great one. Yeah. And Ryan whispered something else entirely
Not
in
that.
my ear. It wasn't even that.
I was hoping you were going to do it in Pochita's voice.
Oh, I could do
Yeah.
that. Nuts or nothing.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, my friend. That's awesome. That was so cute. Wow. An unexpected little gift. That was so nice. Oh my gosh. Hi there, my
Yo.
friend. What's your name?
Carter?
Say it again, Carter.
Yeah.
Hi, Carter. What's your question?
I have a question on the movie that's coming up.
On the movie?
So, it's a quote from the manga, I think. Am I allowed to ask it?
Sure, yeah.
Someone else's question inspired it, like the most emotional thing you've had to voice act. What do you think? How emotional do you think the "Everybody Wants Me for My Heart" is?
That's so we haven't recorded the movie yet.
Yeah.
And that line is, some of you may not have read it. I won't elaborate, but I know the line you're talking about. I have been waiting to say that line since even before the show, even before I was like, I'm never going to play this part. That line has been like in my heart for like 6 years. So there have been people, like sometimes we'll do video recordings. People have me do like, stuff in Denji's voice or do lines and stuff. And it's the only thing that I have turned down is doing that line because I haven't done it yet. And I'm like, that's in the tank. I gotta like.
You gotta save it.
Yeah, that's I've been reserving that. So I'm very excited. There's a few moments in the arc that's going to be in the movie that are, I think, really like essential for Denji, and I think is really going to kind of shift the energy of like what people think this story is too.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah, thank
sick.
you.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
so cool.
excited.
Thank you so much. Hi there. What's your name?
Hi, my name's Connor.
Hi, Connor. What's your question?
I love all the different devils in the show, and my question is, whether it be funny or serious, what's a new devil that you'd like to see Denji have an epic battle with?
Ooh, invent a devil, build a devil.
Well, I love, the rule set is so cool because it's such a simple but efficient idea that devils are physical manifestations of human fears. So technically, anything that, if someone's afraid of something, there's a scale of that thing existing, right, in some form. Like, that's why we got the tomato devil and all that. I think, I've said this before because it just, to me, is just, I hate the idea of it. The paper cut devil.
No, I don't like that at
Yeah.
all. Wow.
Yeah.
I hated that. I had a
Wow,
visceral
stop it. Take it back.
Yeah.
I have to like put pressure on all my fingers now. I'm like, That's a good one though. What do you think? Build a devil, build a devil. What are you afraid of? Tell me your fears, Denji.
Mouth noises, devil.
Oh, that's a good one too. I'm afraid.
I was always thinking about though, like funny fears that people have. Like, I think maybe one of the funniest fears I've heard that's actually like kind of common is people are afraid of pickles.
Afraid of pickles?
Yeah.
The pickle devil.
What do they think about cucumbers?
That's a good question.
Is it
I
like
don't
just
know.
after they've been brined?
I think it's after they've been brined. Yeah. There's
This is
something
a
about
genuine
it.
question.
Yeah.
I am.
The brine
Anyone
is the
here
enemy.
afraid of pickles? Anyone? Can
Yeah,
answer
sorry
this
to
question
trigger
for-
you if that
Yeah,
was.
yeah, we did-
You
yeah.
wanted me to bring it up.
But if anybody
sorry.
has any pickles, I also am hungry.
I
so-
love pickles.
That's the thing. If you ask me,
personally.
I'm way more afraid of cucumbers than I am pickles. Forget cucumbers. Pickles are the way to go. I'm showing my bias. Excuse me. Sorry. Whoa, controversial topic. My friend, I'm so sorry. What's your name?
Hi, I'm AJ.
Hi,
What's
AJ.
up?
Hi. So I have a personal question. So as voice actors who work in dubbing, when it comes to sitting on the couch and watching maybe someone else's work, would you prefer that to be in a dub or a sub? And which one would, or what's like an anime that you would say that one has to be a sub and that one has to be the dub, just for personal preference?
I've never been like one or the other kind of person. I mean, obviously, just because this is what we do, and I love acting, period. So like, I have been watching movies like ever since I was a child. Like, I don't watch movies just like I'm watching it. Like, I'm like studying the eye movements of actors and be like, what are they thinking? Like, I'm that sicko. So I I love watching dubs because I hear so many amazing performances and choices and nuances and things from people. But like also I have like so much joy watching subs. I mean, I more often, a lot of the time, I end up seeing subs when I'm seeing movies because sometimes it's just what the release is or whatever. And like recently I'd seen The Boy and the Heron last year, the Studio Ghibli film. I saw that twice in theater and both with sub, and I thought it was absolutely extraordinary. I actually haven't seen the dub yet, and it's a fucking killer cast, so I know it's going to be good. But I think that you get so much from watching both because, you know, the performances are catered to fit differences in culture and to be right for the character in different ways. And there's something really cool about seeing the little performance choices and nuances that, you know, come from that. But I've never believed in like one being superior or vice versa. I think it's far too nuanced of a conversation, you know, and I also don't care what people prefer. Like, I want everyone to watch it however they want to watch it, and I think it's just kind of amazing that we're at a point in time where we get to experience all of this stuff and have so much access to it. So a lot of the time the dub versus sub like debate to me seems, not that your question is silly, but I feel like the idea of it is like so pointless, because I'm like, can't we just like celebrate all this shit? You know, it's so
Like
much easier
The
to just
Thing.
yeah,
We
like
love
we
The
can enjoy
Thing.
it in all the ways, and I think it's beautiful, you know. And all of us, you know, as much as we can, we try and connect with everyone, you know, our counterparts and all this stuff. It's cool to see how everyone's doing it.
I mean, I could not have said any of that better. That was beautifully said. I think it's also really cool, too, that nowadays we have the technology such that the dubs match so well. Because obviously back in the day, you know, in the early days, that was not the case because, frankly, the technology wasn't there. Because we have to very much rely on the software to, you know, and the engineers being, you know, slightly manipulating the audio file, such that it fits perfectly and everything. It is really cool that we are at a point now where you really wouldn't know that it's technically dubbed over, you know, just by watching it and seeing how well it matches. But what I will also say is, to answer your question honestly, frankly, as far as what my preference is, I don't have one, but the reason why I don't have a preference...
Finish your drink. Nice.
Now he's ready. I don't actually watch anime.
And that's okay. We still love
no,
you.
and I appreciate that. And you know, it used to be I've been doing this for so long. I started acting professionally as a kid. The anime stuff specifically, I started back when I was in high school. It's been over 16 years that I've been dubbing anime. And I didn't grow up watching anime. My first introduction to it was working in it as an actor. And after working in it for a little bit, I was like, these shows are so fun. Like, I should sit down and try to watch some of them, like, for fun. And upon trying to do that, I couldn't separate it from the work aspect because that was the first association I ever had with it. And so I found that I couldn't really immerse myself in the story, in the characters, the same way that I can with other types of media. And even though, just like Ryan was saying, when I'm watching like something live action, for example, hold on, I need to clear my throat.
What a professional. Off the mic.
Elegant.
Yeah.
Didn't want to hurt your ears with that. When I am watching live action stuff, I still am thinking about it like as an actor. I can't like get away from it. I am thinking about like, what's that actor thinking in that moment? Or like, oh, that was a really interesting choice they made there to like do this in this way. Or, oh, I really like how they did that line read. But there's something about live action where I'm able to separate it a little bit more. And I think it's because I enjoyed watching live action stuff before I became a professional actor. Whereas with anime, that was literally my first association with it was acting in it. And I used to, back when I first started doing cons and stuff, like I tried to not tell people that I don't watch it for fun because I was worried that it would upset people. And that they'd be like, then you're not worthy of being in it if you don't also watch it. And maybe there are some people who feel that way, and I get it. But I hope people understand that even though I don't watch it for fun, that doesn't mean that I don't love anime. I love it. I love it so much, and it's an amazing thing, and I love being in it.
Well, and your performances speak for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I really am only able to enjoy it from the behind-the-scenes perspective, rather than just a viewer. But yeah.
I had that trouble when I was in my band, where I was like the main songwriter, and I struggled listening to music. Like I could not enjoy listening to music because I just heard all the pieces, and it just would send my brain into like this thinking spiral instead of just being able to enjoy it. So I get it. That was a great question, though.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, my friend, our last one. So super quick, we got you.
Hi, my name's Kate.
Hi.
It's great to see you again.
Hey, Kate.
And my question is, since Pochita has the mannerisms of a dog, what would a trip to the veterinarian look like for Pochita and Denji?
Pochita at the vet.
That's adorable. You're the one with a dog, so you probably have a better answer.
Well, so the way my dog is at the vet, I think probably would be very similar to Pochita. So I have a corgi. His name's Ajax. He's really cute. And he, like Pochita, is very food motivated. So he's like not afraid of going to the vet at all. Like I know it's a common thing for dogs to be very nervous. There are snacks at all there, so he thinks it's great.
He said, "We're going out to eat. Let's go."
That's right. That's right. Like he
my
doesn't
favorite
even
restaurant,
notice.
the doctor. Yeah.
He doesn't even notice when he is being given his shots because they'll feed him treats as he's getting the shots. So he doesn't even notice. He is laser focused on the morsel in front of him. And I feel like that's how Pochita would be too.
You know what? That's also a fair point. Is I feel like since Pochita's also he's got a chainsaw sticking out of his freaking head.
There's also
I'm assuming shots won't be that big a deal for him. Either that, or he's like a total baby, and
oh my gosh,
he absolutely
that's
is
very possible. Unexpectedly,
yeah,
he's
just really fidgety about it, and and
whimpering.
Denji would have to stay in front of him and be like, "It's all right, buddy. I got you." And just keeping his focus. Yeah, and and then they put the needle and you see him just and then they would go get ice cream.
Thank you so much.
Very cute to think about.
My friends, give it up one more time for our lovely guests.
Thank you guys so much.
My friends, are you going back to your tables today, or will we see you tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we have a little bit more time
back
at
today?
our tables.
All right, if you guys had any
and we're gonna
lingering
be here tomorrow as well. So thank you guys for hanging with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Have a beautiful weekend.
And before you scoot, please come right up to the edge of the stage so we can grab a picture together if you don't mind.
Photo.